Oh, I'm live. Right, sorry about it. 10 minutes late. I was on the phone to my dad, and we were talking about work and politics and everything else. So I don't want to bore you into all of that. So I do apologise for coming on a bit late and why I've just gone bang straight into it as well. But I'm here now. So it might be a shorter stream, but a 10-minute shorter stream. But I'm here. So let's get to some of the comments. Hi, Mark. How's it going? Good to have you here. And Jay as well. Yeah, we're doing okay. Thank you. I hope you're doing all right as well. I hope your flat isn't too hot because I know you've been really suffering with the heat. And that today, it's been really warm. Evening, D. How's it going? And Ian, the man himself. Hi, how's it going, Ian? And obviously, Kirst keeping everyone informed. And obviously, okay. Hi, Kev. Hope all is well. Yeah, all is good. Yeah, I was just on the phone to my old man, and it ran on a little bit longer than I was expecting. So, what's everyone been getting up to this week? I'll tell you, I've got to say, I've got to eat my own words. So, there goes all my own words. So, last week and 2 weeks ago, actually, there was speculation about the Agora model coming out. A lot of people said Optimus Prime. I bashed that off. I said it's more likely the alien build. How wrong was I? So it's definitely Optimus Prime build from Agora. That is the figure coming out. I've dug a little bit more. I've asked a little bit more questions. What I found out is that it's definitely coming out. It'll probably be the end of this year or next, so not too soon. And it's going to have build instructions online similar to the fire engine and the other ones that they do as well. And I think it's going to be on a 24-month subscription base at first, and then obviously once it's fully released, you'll be able to buy the whole thing at once or 12-month it. So basically, you're just getting the parts, and then I think the parts are going online. I think that's how they do it. So yeah. But yes, I have to eat my own words. I did think it was going to be the alien. It's not. That doesn't mean that they're not going to do the alien, because I still think they are. But yeah, and it's due out in France in, well, when I spoke to my French counterpart, he said that it was imminent to be released over there. They're starting up promotion for it at the moment. So it looks like within the next couple of months, it's going to be released in France. I'm going to tally it up because it's one that I'd like to do. So I'm going to tally up and see which is the best option to go with. But at the moment, looking at their other models and judging pricing and stuff like that for France, it looks like it might be cheaper and more convenient for me to get it from France. Remember, you won't get a magazine with the one from Agora. You just get the build instructions, and effectively that's what all you want anyway. And all you do is get the parts, and that's exactly what I do with the RoboCop and my alien build. Also as well, on height, he's going to be the same height as RoboCop and Iron Man. He's the same height. I think he's 60 centimeters, 61 centimeters high, which makes him the same height as Iron Man and RoboCop. So it sort of gives you a judge on how big he's going to be. And what I understand as well, it's going to be after the French release that we'll get it. I don't know how long, but yeah. A lot of people were thinking, oh, it's with Hachette, and it's not. This is with Artadia or Agora. D'Agostini, sorry. So, you know, they're buying into that thing. Does that mean then, the only thing I couldn't find out was, does that mean that Fan Home won't get the Optimus Prime build? And at this point, we don't know. With Agora taking it, it seems doubtful. So it means like Agora will probably be the only place you'll be able to get it. But once again, you don't get magazines, and you just get the parts instructions, which basically that's all we want anyway. You know what I do with my magazines, is chuck them away. So yeah, so I just had to eat my words on that. Not too bad today, just sorting things out as I'm away tomorrow till Thursday. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I hope you enjoy yourself and everything works out all right there, Jay. So yes, so yeah, the site is already up. It's behind a password wall at the moment. I think if people are their members are able to access that. So if you're part of their sort of membership thing, you can access that. I've already set up a group for this. So if you want to, there is a group already out there for Build the Optimus Prime through Agora. That Facebook group's already active. I think there's already 100 people in there already. So some good numbers already, considering it hasn't even come out yet. And obviously we'll get all the information and everything we put on there as well. I'll be getting a lot of information as well from France for that. So there'll be a lot of information from there first, because I think they're getting it there first. But like I said, judging by their pricing at Agora and the sort of ease of it, I would say from France, I think I will be getting from France just because it's more convenient as well. So obviously with Agora you pay monthly and you get your parts, but you can over in France you can actually buy your issues either in bulk or one issue every week if you wanted, because it comes out weekly. And obviously the more issues you buy, the cheaper it is because of exchange rate and stuff. So there's that added bonus as well. And you can also do a bulk order as well. So you could leave it 10 weeks and then buy, 10 issues all at once if you want. There's not many there stopping that. So yeah, at least the dollhouse is easier this week. Yeah, it's it's just a window, isn't it? It's very light this week on content, I've got to say. Evening, John. How's it all going? Nice for you to join us. It's great to see you here. So so that's what I've gathered this week. In regards of Eaglemoss, it's since last week when I done my thing, when they were doing lots of interviews and all the information came out. This week has been very, very, very quiet, even from Ben Robinson's side as well. He's not done any other interviews, so it's gone incredibly quiet. The only bit of information that's come out is the information from the administrators, and that sort of outlines how much they owe to other companies and what was really going on back at the scenes with in regards to their bad credit and stuff like that. And it was an interesting read as well. So if you haven't checked that out, that is on the Enterprise group, and I think Todd, who originally got it, he's put it on the various sites as well. I'll go and check it out. And then you also see as well why PCT, which is the company that produced the model like the Ecto One and the Enterprise, why they want this to happen for us. It's not just down because they want us to finish it. Obviously, that's a main reason, but obviously also as well is they're owed over £1 million from Eaglemoss. So obviously there's an urgency there, because that means they've lost £1 million and have lost the work as well. So obviously they are going to push heaven and earth to try and get something together. They haven't lost as much as other companies. Like they've lost more than other companies have. Other companies have lost less. And there was a company that's come along that's bought the database, but only the database. In the documents it didn't say who had bought that, but the understanding is it's PCT or IXO, whichever one you want to use. So they will know who the customers are and who's got what and where and everything else. But once again, it all comes down to the licensing and stuff, and it still needs to go through the legal system here. So I think Ben said to Todd actually that he's more optimistic now than he was 2 weeks ago that something's happening. But he did sound optimistic that something will happen before the end of the year. So that's a good news, really. But it's always in the fine print, isn't it? And it's that word optimistic, So until something's officially said, everything's optimistic, isn't it? I'm optimistic I might win the lottery tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's that's what you've got to look at. He's optimistic. He's good that it's good that he's putting in the time and effort to try and help them secure a deal. But like I said, he's optimistic. There's no guarantees here. But obviously, like I said, PCT obviously really want to get these models out because, you know, they've lost not only £1 million, but they've lost future revenue as well, which is a big chunk, especially with you know, with global finances at the moment. So there's all that as well. Yeah, so Agora doing the Optimus Prime, like I said, some people have to take sort of think about this as well. I think going forward, when we do part works, we're going to be thinking more than we have previously about not only just what models we can afford, but what ones are coming out. So I'm on the understanding that the Alien build will be released by Hachette this either this year or into next. I don't see why it wouldn't. We're still praying and hoping that the Hogwarts comes out. So you've got that one as well. Optimus Prime as well. So you're going to have to sort of sit here and sort of go, which one, you know? Are you building Optimus Prime? I would love to. There's two things. I would love to build it. It's definitely my thing, as you can see. But it is 60 centimeters tall. It's quite a big one. It's Optimus Prime from, I do believe, the first movie. So if you're a big enough geek, you will know that Optimus Prime's design changed between the first 3 films. In fact, it changes throughout every film, but there are subtle changes, especially from in his transformation. So he's sort of very basic in the first movie, and then it sort of bulks up more in the chest on Revenge is Fallen. And in Dark of the Moon, it's more sort of like a rib. It looks more sort of like chest looking, if you know what I mean, more sort of abs looking. But I do want to build it. It is coming out in France first, so there is the opportunity of me grabbing, you know, the first 4 issues and then going along as and when I want to. At the moment, I need to finish another build before, realistically, I need to finish another build before I start another one as well. And with rising costs and everything else, you know, I don't want to bog anyone down. It's going to be difficult to sort of future-proof and, you know, sort of say, oh, I can afford that, but can I afford it in a year's time, 2 years' time? You know, because I can afford it now, but if, you know, if bills go up, then I'm going to struggle, and that will be a problem for me. So at the moment, I just want to concentrate on what I'm doing. That doesn't mean I don't want to do it. It just means that I won't probably do it straight away. With Agora, there's the option there of buying it later on and doing it. In France, funnily enough, even though the Alien build is on issue, get this, I didn't even know this, right? So I'm so far behind. I have put an order in for the Alien build, so that's coming. That should take me up to issue 50. And but over in France, they're on issue 71 of the Alien build. And funnily enough as well, if you're still wanting to build the Alien build, you can still get issues 1 to 71 are still available. And that is the case as well with the Iron Man. So if you go onto the French site, you can actually still buy every issue of the Iron Man individually from France. So there could be an option there of someone waiting 2 years or a year even and buying 50 issues all at once. You can do that. And that might actually work out cheaper than going to Agora. Like I said, because of the exchange rate, obviously the more you buy, the cheaper stuff gets. And then you've got the delivery on top. Even with that, it looks like it will still be cheaper in the long run to do it from France than Agora. I hope Agora are not watching this and saying, don't tell them that. You know, obviously you can get it from them. They've got the customer service there as well. Like I said, I've never had a problem with anything from France. It's always been very quick and really reliable. And it's always there. Like I said, they always have stock of stuff as well, which is really good. But yes, John, to answer your question, I really do want to build it, but we'll see. I see Hachette Italy have relaunched the original Fiat 500 so badly. I know it's, yeah, you also got to think as well, it's coming out now. Hachette already said this as well, that they said that the end of this year, I think they said that they're going to be doing the tumbler, the Batmobile tumbler. So there's that as well. So there's some good builds coming out, but whether or not anyone can sort of finance them is another matter, which also brings up the sort of what is it? What's the saying? The sort of donkey in the room or something like that. In regards to the Eaglemoss builds as well. So because we all might now just go, okay, well, we're not building that. Let's build something else, and then they start it back up again. You know, it's at the moment I would sit still and just wait and see what comes out in regards to everything, and then see what happens. Regardless of what comes out, I might pick up sort of issues 1 and 2, you know, the 99p ones, 299 ones, but to get right into it, I would probably wait. I'm going to see what happens for the rest of this year. So if I do start another build, it probably won't be until into next year. Now, I just want to see what's happening. I can't, you know, you have to now. You have to sort of plan ahead more now than ever before. Evening, everyone. Hiya, Jay. Oh, lovely. Thank you, Jay, for that. Yes, elephant in the room. That was it. Well done, D. The elephant in the room. Yeah. So we've all sat here, and we're all going, "Oh my God, Optimus Prime's coming out. The Tumbler's coming out," and they're like really good builds. Both builds I would really like to do. But then we've got the elephant in the room, haven't we? We've got the Eaglemoss models. And I know with the Ecto one, I know some people are 2 issues away or 8 stages, and people like Ian at Partwork Upgrades, sorry. I don't know why I said that, sorry. Ian at Partwork Upgrades has given you the last 8 stages. But if you aren't at that stage, especially with the Enterprise, I'm up to issue or stage, I should say, stage 47, I do believe I'm up to. So I'm further away than most people. I think most people are on stage 73 or something like that. And they they come out, and the company messages you or says you can buy the rest of the issues and all that sort of stuff. It's money. And it's going to be coming, I think, before Christmas, when money is more tight than most times of the year, really. So there's loads of factors to take into account as well. And obviously the Iron Man, Carol's just put there as well. I'll be finishing the Iron Man in January, but I might hold back on a few builds due to finances. I'm totally with you there. At the moment, like I said, I want to finish the builds that I'm building. I've always said that. You know, there's a few builds going on the go here. I would even, you know, I won't even do the Enterprise or Ecto one, finish my ones until the other ones are finished. But then they brought out to us, you know, in a year's time, we might all be better off financially, so it'd be easier and better for us to do stuff. But at the moment, there's too much risk, if you know what I mean. And I just want to be able to manage stuff a little bit better. The good thing is, a lot of these builds that come out now, you tend to be able to get again and again and again, and you have the option of doing 24, 12, or getting the whole build, which is really good. But obviously, a lot of us want to get it straight away. So it's going to be a very tight couple of months for a lot of people. And in terms of Partworks, it's going to be even tighter. There's going to be a lot of new stuff out. But yeah, what I've understood as well is that they are also watching these sort of scenarios as well. So they're not sort of blindly doing this. So it may come to a point where they say, we're going to hold back on bringing up some builds or doing some builds until we know next year how things are going. So they might turn around and okay, well, we won't bring the Alien out at the end of this year or next. What we'll do is we'll give it 6 to 8 months extra and see how everything plays out. That might happen as well. But like I said, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's all up in the air at the minute. So yeah. Anyone watch She-Hulk this week? We watched the first episode, and I've got to say, I really liked it. If there's more of that to come, it's going to be a really good series for me, I think. I've seen the criticism on it and stuff like that, but I always, critics, I always take with a pinch of salt. You should go and see these films, even if the critics have said they're bad. just because they didn't like it doesn't mean you're not going to. But yes, I really, really liked She-Hulk this week. And yeah, that's all I got to say about it. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for the rest of it to come out as well. And it started good. And there's a lot of backstory sort of involved in the first episode as well, which is really cool. So yes, our youngest loved it. She did indeed. Yeah, Sophie, she absolutely loved it. But yeah, I thought it was all right. What have I been getting up? Yeah, like I said, I've done the alien build, so I've ordered that last week. It still hasn't shown up, but I'm expecting it Monday. I'm hoping before the strikes, because obviously, as you might have known, Royal Mail and the Post Office and Parcel Force are all going on strike on this Friday and next Wednesday. So I'm hoping everything goes all right for everyone, but you probably won't get any post or anything from any of those companies until the Saturday, and then obviously then it's the bank holiday Monday. So some people probably won't get post until the Tuesday, and then they're back on strike on the Wednesday. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. I don't want to bring it down. I haven't seen it yet, but I really struggled with Miss Marvel. I liked Miss Marvel. It was different, but it was very focused at the younger audience, at the teen audience. So, my girls, Holly and Sophie, they're at that perfect age for that series. It sort of reminded me a lot of sort of a more serious, if you've ever seen it, things like iCarly and Danger Force and what is it, Henry Danger, the Fundaments, all that sort of stuff, which is like kid-based stuff, a bit like when I was a kid, when I used to watch things like Keenan and Kel and all that sort of stuff. But it was sort of, it didn't dumb it down for the kids, if you know what I mean. It made it look like more adult-ish, but it was definitely aimed at the kids. I enjoyed it. Also, as well, which I found with that was a lot of people didn't understand. So Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, is fairly new in the world of Marvel everything. I think the first comic came out in 2012. That's how new that character is. But since then, she's been featured in lots of things, even the video game. So yeah, I liked it. It's interesting where it's going to go with it, because they mentioned things like mutants and stuff like that. So yeah. I prefer the original Incredible Hulk. It scared me. Oh, you mean with is it Lou Ferrigno? Is that the Hulk? He was actually in one of the films as well. If he's one of those Easter eggs put in the Incredible Hulk film, or is he in the first Hulk film? He's definitely in one of them as a security guard. I think it was the original Hulk film. The one before the Incredible Hulk. But yeah, Lou Ferrigno, I think that's his name. Yeah, I've not watched that in a long time, but I did watch some. I've got to say, a lot of that. It was around that time. It was in the 70s, I think, and it was around that time when they were doing a lot of Marvel stuff, which was very, very corny. If you type in Marvel on YouTube, type in Marvel 70s. And you'll know what I mean. It's quite bad. Iron Man, you got Thor as well in it, and I think Captain America drives a motorbike with a big bobble sort of crash helmet on. But yes, I remember Incredible Hulk was also part of that as well. But yeah, I can understand that. But yes, yeah, Miss Marvel, I enjoyed as well. I also actually enjoyed Moon Knight. It's another new comic series as well. Once again, I think that one was 2012. Was later, it was earlier, but I think it got revitalized in 2012, and it come quite popular because it was around the time with Daredevil and things like that. So it was a more darker side. But it's actually quite an old Marvel character. And yeah. There's a few things different. Obviously, he doesn't have the moon ship, which is the crest, like the crest of the moon. And there's a few other things in there as well. I actually really liked it. I know a lot of people didn't, but I really liked it. I did like Moon Knight, but yeah. But that's what's coming out. Like I said, at the end of Wednesday the 31st. That's, I don't know what other partworks are coming out, but I definitely know the new Warhammer partworks coming out. That's already listed. So that's normally a catalyst. So when these partwork companies start bringing out stuff, there's like a catalyst of them bringing out stuff. So we'll probably get an influx over the next sort of 3 months of new stuff coming out. So yeah, can't wait. Yes, you're correct. Not the Marvel, really. Yes, the 70s Marvel is questionable. Cap. Yeah, so I think they sort of saw the appeal of the original Batman series and went, we could do that. But you've also got to realise as well that Marvel went through. It's been an up and down with Marvel. If you've ever followed it, so you know the reason that we've got the Marvel movies now and the X-Men movies and stuff like that was because Marvel was going to file for bankruptcy, and instead of doing that, what they did is they said, okay, well we'll lease the names, and then movie companies can bid for them, and that's what they did, and that's why we got the X-Men series, which then eventually led to obviously the MCU as we know now. But yeah, if you go back, so the late 90s, early 2000s, Marvel was it was very much near bankruptcy. It was in a real bad position. Now look at it. Now you look at it and you think, oh wow, you know, it went from that to that. So it's done well. Also, as well, today was. You know what? I like more positive things. Oh yeah, we've got Optimus Prime coming out. That was a positive thing. Yes, that came out this week, John. Yeah, build the fateful representation. The Hogwarts Castle build in France this week. Yeah, it's already been out in Italy, and it came out this week in France. This is their start in France, is when all the new partworks come out, starting from now. Ours is normally September. Theirs is a month before. And then we start, it's normally around January, February time, we start getting all the test builds. But yes, you're right. I think it's more focused at kids. I've seen it before in Italy. I do believe as well it was tested here in the UK. I don't know how well it done. I don't even think any issues came out. It was on the system. It was on the system, the national magazine system. So it was due to come out, but I don't know anyone who picked up an issue. And when my news agent tried to order it, they couldn't because they had no stock, is what they said. But it was definitely listed on their system, so it should have come out as a test run here. But fateful representation is a bit of a it's a bit of a strange. I wouldn't have put it like that. But each to their own. But yeah, it's more like I think it's more directed at the kids and stuff. It's a lot of plastic, so you build the castle, and it's out of proportion to the figures that you receive as well. But like I said, I think it's really focused at the kids, which is good because I think they should do more partworks for kids. You know, the kids see me building like the Dodge Charger or the Disney Dollhouse and stuff. I know the Disney Dollhouse is very good. There's not a specific sort of kids part work, if you like. Obviously, they do them, you know, with the books, and you get the figures and stuff like that. The closest they've ever done really is the 3D Planet, my 3D Planet, which we did, and How My Body Works, which is where you build the skeleton, and then you got all the internal organs, then the muscles go over the top, and then you got the flesh as well. They were focused at kids, and they were really cool partworks. But apart from that, there's not really sort of pop culture stuff for kids to do. And I think that's the first one really that is sort of thing. I think it's with Hachette as well, so it gives you a kind of idea. So a lot of people are saying, you know, that the Hogwarts Express isn't coming out, or we don't really know what's going on with that. But it shows me that there must be a license there for that. But if you know with licensing, they would have to license it all separate and stuff like that. I still think it's down to licensing why we've not got it. It's not that it didn't do good, because it done really well here. Better than the Eddie Stobart in terms of sales. Yet the Eddie Stobart came out. So my only understanding is that it's got to be something to do with the licensing, similar to what happened with the Terminator. So if you remember, the Terminator was scheduled to come out. It didn't. I think it came out about 5 or 6 months after it was supposed to come out, and that we then later found out that was down to licensing. They put all the licensing in. Everyone was all happy, but apparently for it to go through the courts and all that, it took time. It took longer than they were expecting, so they had to postpone it because they can't sell it without license. So, but yes, I have seen that, John. Will I be getting it? No. I don't. It's weird. I think if it came out here, I think if my daughter saw it, who's a massive Hogwarts fan, yeah. Artadia could be done with a child with supervision. Yeah, there's a few. I mean, Holly, Sophie, when I'd done the Route Master, I never recorded that, but she loved trying to, especially with the smaller screws she couldn't do, but some of the bigger screws, and helping with putting the tyres on and stuff like that. She'd done that, but I found that it was good, but as the build went on, the attention span sort of went. And obviously you've got to think these builds are over 2 years maybe. So, you start off at about 7, and, by that, 9, we're still building it, and they've lost complete interest. So I think for a good kids one, it needs to come out and not be longer than a year, which how my body works did. I think originally it was only, I think it's 70 issues for the bones, and then I think it's an extra 20 issues for the internal organs. I think for the muscle, sorry, and then another 20 for the human parts to go over. And then I do believe they continued it on even further, where they done how the lungs work. So they've done like a diagram on how the lungs work, and they did one on the stomach and stuff like that. But yeah, I think there are some that are supervised. But I think the Hogwarts Castle, if you've ever seen it, Mark, is really focused at the sort of 6-7-year-olds, just because it's a lot of plastic. It's easy, no glue's requested. It's all sort of put in with little pegs and stuff, and it looks very basic. But like I said, a great one for the kids to do. But then it comes down to money and stuff. And like I said, if you could go, oh, okay, we'll build this, and it goes on for 12 months. They could lose interest by the time it finished. So it's one of those things as well. But yeah, so the girls have helped me on a few issues and stuff with the builds, and my daughter loves doing the sort of scientific build stuff. So she's got a hydraulic hand that you put in, and it uses water and pistons, and it's like a big grabby hand, and it's a science museum one. She loved doing things like that, and building. We've got a vacuum robot, a little desk vacuum robot that you have to build, and they built all that as well. So they do get involved. But the R2D2, I think there's some aspects of the R2D2 they couldn't, like you said, with supervision, definitely. But then I think that's with every build. And I love seeing the kids doing the builds. I love seeing building with the boys and things like that, getting his son involved and stuff. And I think that's brilliant. So bonding, and they get excited for building as well. And it's the next generation we need to be thinking of who's going to be doing this as well. So yeah, I'm all for that. But yeah, I think the Hogwarts Express one is more for kids. What I've seen of it anyway, and there is a YouTube channel with a guy that does it. So if you put in Hogwarts build the Hogwarts Castle, I believe it comes up on YouTube, and you can watch that guy there. He's from Italy, but I think he's finished now, but I don't believe it's very many issues, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's very many. And then you're building these things, you've got to think of space as well, obviously. It's all It's all about space and stuff. But yes, yeah, Mark, yeah, definitely do the R2D2. Like I said, with most part works could be supervised. R2D2 ones are quite a good one. There are some fiddly bits in it, like the projector, and then trying to get the head on when you plugged everything in. That was a bit of a nightmare as well. I remember that. It was just like, I remember building it, and you know, you test the parts as they go on, they will work. But it's that moment in when you start it up, you power it up, and everything works. You're like, oh wow, it works. I know a lot of people had that problem with the projector. So on the test board, the projector doesn't work properly, which they failed to mention. And people were saying it didn't work, when in actual fact it did. It was just the test board, and the batteries for the test board wasn't powerful enough. So, yeah. Oh, well done, Jay. Thank you very much for that. There's the man there. Yeah, Jay pulled that up. Yeah, that's the guy. Thank you, Jay, for that. Yeah. So, yeah, go and check him out if you want to watch that. But, yeah, good. But, yeah, not for me. Not for me. The Warhammer one as well, it's not for me. I do get, my brother gets issues and then gives them to me. So I probably don't have to buy that. It just gives me some issues anyway. Yeah, I don't know what else is due to come out. I'll keep an update, and obviously keep everyone updated on my Facebook page about everything that's coming out, obviously. But yes, the reason I haven't put the Warhammer one is because I'm not too sure how many people collect it, or how many people watch my channel that collect it. So I don't know if that information would be, you know, what everyone would want to see, sort of thing. So that's why that's not on there, but it is definitely coming out. The 31st, it's in shops. But I do believe the website is up on the 1st. I do believe. I think you can put in your order for subscribers on the 1st, and then the first issue comes out on the 31st. So what I will do is I'll put a link to the website on my Facebook page, and then you can just link it there and have a look if that is your thing. It's called Stormbreaker, and it's the third one that Hachette have done, and apparently they are the most popular part works they've ever done. It's amazing how well it's done for them. And not only that, it's been 3 years, and they've brought out 3 versions in 3 years. So that tells you the rapidness of it. I think they only do up to 70 issues. They only do like 70 issues of each one, but still, it's been ridiculously popular. If you've ever seen Warhammer or been past the shop, you'll know how expensive it is. And secondly, I don't think a lot of people realise how popular Warhammer is. It's mega popular. In fact, you know, there's people doing this part work that have never done a part work ever. And it's the first time I've ever come across Hachette as well. So they've seen things like the Terminator, and they've gone, I never knew they did that. All I knew that they did the Warhammer, and since finding out the company, I've known that they do other stuff as well now. So it's a good advertisement for them. But yes, it's been mega popular for them, mega popular. And yeah, it's done very, very well for them, very well. But yeah, as far as I know from speaking to my contacts and that, it's the most popular part that they've done to date. You know, maybe we can up that on another one, but yeah, very popular. But yeah, there is that. The Disney Dollhouse, that's coming along really nicely. Next couple of issues, we get the doors. I think over the next 5 issues, I believe all the windows and doors are in for the first floor, and we've obviously started to build up the basement as well. So it's going to really start taking shape over the next 5 to 6 weeks, especially the basement. But I'm just so shocked, really, how big that's got in so little time. So we're on issue 31, and it already looks huge. You know, when you compare it to things like the DeLorean or the Dodge Charger or something like that, and you kind of see it, the progress, and you think, oh look, you know, I've got the base. I'm on issue 45, so I'm 10ish. I'm 12 issues, 12, 13 issues ahead of the Disney Dollhouse on the Dodge Charger, but the Dodge Charger looks small, and I mean really small compared to it. I think that's because it's got rooms and stuff like that. Also, it also seems like you're getting more parts per issue to do than you are with other builds, so that could be that as well. But yeah, I'm quite happy with. It's one of those builds that me and Kirsty said we were going to do, and I was going to let Kirsty do it, and I've kind of taken over with it, and I'm more impressed. Every week it goes on, I'm more impressed with it as well. And I know a lot of people like Disney Dollhouse, and I don't really know in that. Well, actually, I'm really impressed with it. Very impressed with it. I'm quite happy with it. There's a lot also as well, which I like about the Disney Dollhouse is that it combines craft as well as build. So this week we had to make a kite. So we had to sort of cut out the bits of papers. It was a nightmare. Ask Jay, it was a nightmare. But you also get to do things like pillows. So you have to sew pillows up, and you have to sort of make stuff for it as well. It's not just building up the rooms and the part, and you're building up sort of like the furniture and that. You're actually making stuff as well. So like the kite and the cushions and stuff like that. So you have to sort of stuff the cushions and sew it up and stuff like that. So it's craft work as well, which is really cool. We don't really touch the Dollhouse after the next door, as it's the basement, and then Winnie the Pooh's room we build for a while. Oh right, yeah. Oh, is it? Oh right, okay, yeah. So after we do the door for the Alice in Wonderland and Frozen room, it's all just basement, is it? Okay. I know that there's some boarding to go down, like a skirt board sort of thing in the kitchen. But I would imagine that you'd have to build up the basement anyway, because it's got to sit on that before we sort of carry on doing any more. So I understand that. Yeah, I would imagine that's what. Do you know what? I've looked. I remember when it first came out, and I looked at Nappy, and she's the Japanese YouTuber that builds it. And I remember watching all of her videos, and I'm getting old because I've forgotten some of them now. So, yeah, I have to go back. Still recovering from the kite, hence why I break away. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I still think there was a simpler way of doing that. They do this a lot with Parkworks, and I think we've mentioned it here before. They sort of over complicate a lot of Parkworks. I don't know whether it's on purpose, but they just over complicate certain things. Like you just look at stuff and you go, after you've spent an hour, you've used every language known to human existence, right? You're covered in plasters, and you look back and you go, and you followed the instructions. You kind of sit back and you go, that could have been done easier. You know what I mean? There's so much easier way it could have been done. But I understand why they do stuff. But there is certain times when I've built something and I've gone, man, like especially when you've had to build two of something. So you built one, and it's the same with the legs, really. So the leg with the alien, the first leg I did, putting that skin on, what a nightmare, absolute nightmare. And I've gone, man, there must be an easier way to do it. Well, I get a second go at making it easier. So there's that element to it. But I remember losing it with the alien leg just because of the way you've got to pull it round and stitch it together, and it's just a glue. Your hands are stuck together for a week. So I just went off on mine and super glued the string. It looks amazing, but still love the Dollhouse. It's an amazing build. It is a really good build. Yeah, it's remarkable how good it is. Like I said, every time we get stuff, I'm really surprised the quality and how good it is. So there's those sort of elements as well. So, but look, I'm going to wrap it up now. I know I've only been going 45 minutes, but I want to get off before 8 o'clock. So I do apologise for the start and why I was late. I was talking to my dad about the strikes and stuff like that, because some developments have happened that I don't know, he wasn't aware of, but I was internally. So I shouldn't really say that because I'm leaking information. But, you know, I support the workers and that's it on my end. So, yeah, good on them, mate. They get their pay rise. And any worker actually fighting for a pay rise, I'm with you 100%. Anyway, so look, I'm going to go. I'm hoping the alien turns up this week. It's been a slow week last week on my channel. This week, I do plan on putting out a video once a day, whether that's a gaming video or something. I do plan on putting something out every day next week. Or this week coming. We've got the Dodge Charger. We've got the Disney Dollhouse. Like I said, hopefully the alien comes and I'll have some bits to post on about that. But look, I'm going to go. Thank you guys for coming on. I will be back in 2 weeks' time, and then I will be every week after that. So I'll be back what date is that, Kirst? It's the 4th of September, isn't it? Is that a Saturday? Yeah. Okay, it might be the 5th of September. I need to look at my diary. I'll be back then. Thank you, John. Thank you for coming along. It's been great. Thank you. I will be back on the 1st September, the first Sunday in September. I will be back. I think it's the 4th of September. It is the 4th of September. I know now. So I'll be back 4th of September, and then I'll be weekly after that. So go and enjoy the last few weeks of freedom from the kids. You know, last few weeks with the kids and everything before freedom comes. I'll hopefully have some more information as well in regards to Optimus Prime. Maybe we get some more information. Maybe something gets released in France. I don't know, but by then we might have something. And we might even have more information on what's going on with Eaglemoss. But obviously, if developments change and information comes out, then I will be on next week. But other than that, I'll be on the 4th of September. So have a good one. And like always, we'll see you at the next video.